Hello again. It's Wing Nation, presented by Sage. We're talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week, and we are so glad that you have joined us. Steve Post in the Hercules Tire Studios, joining us from the great state of Pennsylvania, the Lethal Chassis Studios, Ashley Stemme. Hello, Ashley. How are you?
I am fabulous after spending 2 weeks in Charlotte, just trying to get caught back up here at Lethal and life in general.
Boy, I'm telling you what, all roads. There are a lot of race cars been in Charlotte here over the last couple of weeks. Ay, ay, ay. Man, crazy.
It's true, and it was so great after being there last year for the last call and being there back for the actual World Finals and having fans. It was it was the way to end the season.
Really exciting, that's for sure, across all three series. And, of course, for the sprint cars, the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, Ashley, Brad Sweet did it again. We kind of knew that going in. He kind of had the thing locked down. But when you start to look at this, he is starting to carve out a spot. He joins Steve Kinser and Donnie Schatz as 3 consecutive year champions. Now 3 of them have done it. And there's only 4 drivers that have won 3 overall. That's Steve Kinser, Donnie Schatz, and Sammy Swindell. That's pretty good company that Brad Sweet is putting himself into.
Yes, already etching his name in the history books when it comes to that. And like you said, good company. It's cool. We've talked about it the last couple of years. The depth of the World of Outlaws has been huge. So to see him 3 times is big.
16 wins this year. That matches his career best. We talked about it down the stretch and how good Gravel was and how good some of the other guys. But when you start to do the math on the full season, they weren't as good as Brad Sweet. 16 wins, World of Outlaws. That is impressive as well.
Absolutely. Just insane to have 16 wins, even though I know he set his goal, I think it was for 20, he said at the beginning of the year. Still didn't hit it, but it's huge.
Yes, it is. That is for sure. And Brad joins us. It's going to actually be Erin Evernham, who hosts our Wing Nation show, co-hosts our Wing Nation show during the week on wingnation.com. And Ashley going to be talking to Brad Sweet here. Before we get to that, let's take a look back, one final trip back at the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drinks NGK NTK World Finals. Friday night action over at the dirt track. It is Brian Brown and David Gravel mixing it up. Gravel went on to get the win. Here's Johnny Gibson with the call on Dirt Vision.
And now for the Dryden death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
David Gravel, Brian Brown battling for the lead. Brownie to the inside. Gravel turns it back underneath him.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Def, the official def of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
Pride. Passion.
Performance.
We are.
We are.
We are Team Dryden.
We're back. You're watching Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit. And now on the Hercules Tire Hotline, it is 3-time champion Brad Sweet. Brad, I know you've had an incredible weekend, a busy weekend. We appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, and that's pretty cool to hear 3 times. So it's still a little surreal to hear that.
Speaking of which, we had you on 2 years ago when you won your very first championship, and the emotion and the passion that you have. 2 years later, does it still feel the same? Is it a little different? What does it mean to you to be a 3-time champion?
Yeah, it does. Honestly, I think it makes you more hungry every year. I think you can feel the pressure of everybody trying to catch up, and trying to beat you. And, once you're winning and winning championships, you can't imagine not, So it's going to be another battle next year. But we're enjoying this for sure. It's pretty special. I think a lot of times when you go through these things in life, or you see, professional athletes win championships and have dynasties or have whatever they're having, it all happens so fast. It's hard to take a breath and realize it's happening. You always look back and kind of, can reflect on it. But I'm trying to make sure that we stop and everybody realizes that, how cool it is, how special of a group this is, so that we we really, relish these moments and cherish the memories and make sure that we're enjoying it too, because it is a lot of work, 99% of the time. So really just trying to, have some fun right this second. And then we'll shift gears, and obviously, next year I feel like it's going to be even tougher, and I'm excited for the challenge.
Brad, winning your third consecutive championship added your name to the history books, with Steve Kinzer and Donnie Schatz to be the only ones to do that. What does that mean to you, and how significant in your career is it to put your name along with theirs?
Yeah, it's really surreal. Honestly, you just don't believe that. I mean, you want to believe it can happen, and you dream about it, but it seems like a dream, and it seems, like it's really far away. Especially chasing Donnie, for all those years, I felt like, he was just so much better that we'd never get there. But we kept working. We put our heads down and put a great team together, and it's pretty special to think about what Steve Kinzer accomplished for our sport, what Donnie Schatz has done, and then you can actually put my name near those guys. It's pretty crazy. Obviously, Steve's 20 championships. I'm not even going to try to act like I could even get close to that, and obviously Donnie, at 10. It's just unbelievable. Now being in this moment and realizing how hard it is to be at that level for that long, is pretty unbelievable. I have a lot of respect for those guys, and I have a lot of appreciation for our sport, the history of our sport. So, I'm glad that I'm able to be here and, put my name in those history books. And, I know it's my time to shine right now, and then it'll be somebody else's. That's how sprint car racing works. But we're definitely going to certainly try to stay on top for as long as we possibly can.
Brad, you talk about that level, and we've mentioned it over the last couple of years, that the depth of the World of Outlaws is so strong right now. You had 16 wins on the season this year, an average finish of like 5.5. I don't even think it was that much. But you even said that this year wasn't your best year. You weren't really happy with where you were at. The wins didn't come like you hoped that they would. But it's all about consistency, and obviously that championship at the end of the day is what's most important. But when you're not hitting those goals along the way, how extremely frustrating is that for you as a driver?
Well, it's racing, and I think that's the thing about becoming a champion is I think you have to have a really strong mind, a really level head. There's just things that, are out of your control. I think it also shows how hard it really is. You can be, the point champion, but not win, any of the crown jewel races. So, there's just so many guys, trying so hard. It's very challenging. Nothing's given in this sport. So, you definitely, when you do win the big races, you definitely, want to appreciate that, because you never know if you're going to get another shot. And every championship you win, you definitely want to appreciate it, because, next year someone else could be on top and start their own, dynasty. So I try to take the good with the bad, and obviously, try to make the improvements where I think, and our race team think that we need to make the improvements. Obviously, we want to look at our weaknesses and improve on those. And then, you can't get complacent where you're strong. You always want to be improving. So, I think that's what we're doing, is trying to improve. So, next year we eliminate, some of the things that we didn't think we did great this year. So that's the goal every year. And we did some good things this year. We improved on some things that we felt like we were struggling with. But we definitely didn't have the perfect year, or, as good a year as we thought we were capable of. So, whenever you have that, makes you hungry to do better next year.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. We are chatting with 3-time champion Brad Sweet. We'll be back right after this commercial break in just a minute here on Wing Nation.
Hey, Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honey Crisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey.
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy. Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
Welcome back to Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit. Still on the Hercules Tire Hotline is our champion, Brad Sweet. Brad, we talked about the whole racing, the dynamic of what it takes to make a season. But when it really boils down to it, your future, your goals, every year drivers set, their kind of standards. But what is your long-term goal for sprint car racing, and where do you see yourself in 3, 5, 10 years from now?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's hard to know exactly where you're ever going to be because, a lot can change in, it seems like 6 months or even 1 year. But I feel like, obviously, we want to keep winning championships as long as we possibly can. We want to keep, Napa Auto Parts, on top, Casey Kane Racing on top. We want to win more Crown Jewel races. We want to win, we had a goal to win 20 races this year, and we didn't accomplish that. So obviously that's something that we really want to accomplish. And then obviously just as I gain experience in the sport, on the promoting side and other avenues, we'll definitely keep exploring. I want to give back to the sport. I want to, I definitely want to be a part of a big race, at some point. I have a dream to kind of, build a huge event somewhere. And, I definitely can see myself in 5 years, being more in that direction at some point, whether I keep racing full time or not. You just really don't know. I'm 35, going to be 36. So I always said I was going to race till 40, and you never know. If I'm still winning championships, it's going to be hard to walk away, obviously. So we're just 1 year at a time. I love where sprint car racing's at. I love what the World of Outlaws are doing. They have, a great vision. They have good leadership right now. They're thinking big. So it's fun to be a part of it right now. It's fun to watch the growth. We certainly see it, night in and night out at the racetracks with bigger crowds. Dirt Vision's really helped with, giving the casual fan a lot more access to seeing races even when we're not in their hometown. So definitely seeing all that, and it's exciting to be a part of the sport right now.
It sure is. Brad, how are you going to celebrate this win? I know you mentioned earlier that it's sometimes hard to stop and really enjoy it. You guys work so hard, you're probably already thinking about Florida in February, whenever it is. But what are you going to do to maybe stop and relax and enjoy and try to soak all of this in?
Really, like for me, I think when you just travel as much as we do and fly around and all those things, I think just being at home has always kind of been my way to, just enjoy some time with my wife and daughter and family. And obviously Kyle and Caitlin, they won their championship. So, I think, spend time with them, enjoy it all. It's a pretty, special place that we're all in right now. And we got holidays all together, and, we're just going to kind of enjoy each other's company and have fun. And I'm always all about cooking and trying to entertain. That's what I enjoy doing. So I'll try to have some people over, entertain, and I think you do that for a little while, and then you get bored, and then you're ready to go again. So kind of got to unwind. You put on about 5 or 10 pounds, drinking too much beer and enjoying barbecue, and then you all of a sudden one day I wake up and it's like, okay, it's time to go racing again, and get back working out and get your mind right, and then we'll be in Florida before we know it.
So a family affair of champions with your brother-in-law, Kyle Larson, winning the NASCAR championship at Thanksgiving. Is there bragging rights? I mean, it's only Kyle's first championship. This is your third. Is there any of that happens?
No, honestly, I think we're just so happy for each other. I think it's just such a special thing, really. It's so hard to have one champion anywhere in anything, and to have two in the family, especially at such a high level, it's pretty cool. I was pulling for Kyle a lot this year. He did a great job, and obviously, the way that the NASCAR thing works, it's just so, nerve-wracking, I guess, is a good word, but it's a little bit of luck, a little bit nerve-wracking, and I felt like he had a season that he should be the champion, but you just never know what that last race is going to bring. So pretty cool for him. He deserves it. He's definitely, one of the most talented drivers that we've ever seen. So it's pretty cool. He represents dirt racing really well. So he keeps a lot of eyes on our sport, and we certainly pull for him when he's not in the sprint car.
Yeah, he certainly does. Brad, you mentioned your daughter, Savannah. How neat is it for her or for you to even have the experience with her? Now that she's a little bit older, your third championship, what has that been like as a father?
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, there's nothing better than having Savannah at the races, how happy she is and how much fun she has, and she really doesn't care if I do good or bad. So it's so, just puts a lot of things in perspective, I guess would be a good way to put it. And just exciting that we're going through, these times together and creating these memories, even though she's so young. And obviously, the longer we go, she'll start to remember, some of these things that are happening. So yeah, it's a really special time. It's a good place to be. And we got a lot of great friends and a lot of great family around us. So yeah, it's just one of those things where we're very blessed.
The smile that she had there when you were hoisting the championship trophy, I think, is a picture that will definitely go down in the memory books forever. It was absolutely incredible. Brad, we appreciate your time and what you do here at Wing Nation for us. We'll let you get back to it. Enjoy your off season, and congratulations again on the championship.
Thank you. And we certainly appreciate the coverage and you guys being so passionate about the sport and covering us. I know it's not always easy with us drivers. We're all over the map. So we appreciate you guys too. And you guys always ask great questions and help us interact with the fans better. So we appreciate you guys, and obviously hope everybody has a great off season, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Awesome. Thank you, Brad. You're three-time champion, Brad Sweet. We'll be back with more Wing Nation in just a moment.
Power isn't born. It's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain. And we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
We're back. You're watching Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit, and it is time for the last Tweet Your Seat tweet of the week for this year, and it's none other than our good friend Chris Dolak. It is the picture of the four-wide salute and, of course, the incredible pyrotechnics that happen in Charlotte, especially when it's cold, Steve. That big boom and those fireballs, it gives you just that instant of heat to warm you right up.
The MRN crew was in Phoenix. We were sitting at dinner. Mike Bagley, one of our turn reporters and one of the morning drive hosts on Sirius, he's looking at his phone. His eyes went as big as saucers. He said, "Where's this dirt track where they blew up the infield?" And he spun it around, and I said, "Oh, that's just the World Finals. That's just the." He says, "What happened?" I said, "No, that's just the celebration. That's just what they do." And we got laughing about it. He said, "Man, they must do it big." I said, "I would love to have the pyro budget. I'd love to have the pyro budget for the World of Outlaws, for the World Finals." It is always great, that's for sure. Let's take a lap around the sprint car world. The topic we've been talking about for the last 2 years, Ashley, is Kyle Larson. And Sunday, he put an exclamation point on a great season, winning the Cup Series championship. He won that big race at Phoenix, and I'm telling you, he racked up some numbers across all series this year.
It's true. Brian Walker, B-Walk, Walkopedia, whatever you want to call him, he stated 89 starts across 4 types of cars with 30 wins, 11 NASCAR, 11 sprint car, 4 late model, and 4 midget wins, including some incredible crown jewel races, Steve.
Yeah, crown jewel races. The NASCAR was the Coca-Cola 600, the All-Star race, and then the championship race, the late models, the Prairie Dirt Classic. Midgets, he won the Chili Bowl and the BC 39, and of course in sprint cars, it was the Knoxville Nationals and the Kings Royal. So Kyle Larson, turn number 1, won the Cup Series championship. Turn number 2, the Xfinity Series championship, and the sprint car tie to Daniel Hemrick. Okay, the haulers are headed out, boogity through Texas, and the Daniel Hemrick, Joe Gibbs Racing transporter hit a deer carcass, of all things, and it damaged the braking system, so the truck could run for an hour, had to sit for an hour or two. Run for an hour, sit for an hour or two. That wasn't going to make it the trip, make it in time to get to Phoenix. Roper Racing is a truck series team based in Texas, so they reached out to them to see who could help. Roper Racing put him in touch with Lubbock Wrecker Service, sponsor of John Carney II's car. Well, John Carney not only is sponsored by them, he's a part-time tow truck driver. And so at midnight Thursday night, Ashley, this is the darndest thing, at midnight he gets a call that he's going to have to haul an Xfinity Series car from Texas to Phoenix. He guts the rear half of his sprint car hauler, guts the rear half of the sprint car hauler, puts the Xfinity Series car in there, drives all night long, and delivers that race car 30 minutes before practice. How about that? How about that for sprint car people helping out the NASCAR folks?
That is absolutely insane, and I hope they tipped him really well, knowing that Daniel ended up winning the championship.
That was cool. That was cool. Really fun stuff. Had a chance to text back and forth with John. He thought it was a pretty neat deal. Down the back straightaway into turn number 3, Baps Motor Speedway wraps it up this year. The final 410 race in North America. In North America this season, the Capital Renegade Sprint Car Showdown. Ashley, they're running for $5,000 to win on Saturday afternoon.
Absolutely insane. It'll be the 5th 410 show of the 2021 season. Brent Marks and Danny Dietrich have both won 2 each.
That's turn number 3. Let's go to turn number 4. Dominic Scelzi, an incredible year. The 2021 NARC King of the West Series champion. 8 410 wins, 14 360 wins. That makes 22 total for him. And he will be part of a great program we have coming up during the offseason, the Dryden Salute to Champions on wingnation.com and our social media channels. There you have it, a lap around the sprint car world.
I'm not ready yet. All right, I'm ready now.
Hey, Ashley, what are you up to?
I just I just stopped by to pick up my sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
Yeah, okay.
This is what it looks like when you do it.
Ta-da!
Take a deep breath, count to 5. It's like running across a rhythm section at a motocross track.
Mine was perfect.
It is Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit. We appreciate, again, Brad Sweet joining us on the Hercules Tire Hotline. Always good to chat with the 3-time champ. And Ashley, this is our final show of the season. What a year we've had on the racetrack. The sprint car racing's been good. We've had a lot of fun. We have talked to a lot of great characters over the course of this year here on Wing Nation as well.
We sure have. We couldn't do it without our drivers for sure. And our road shows, they were awesome to be back at the racetrack again after a hiatus of last year. So definitely looking forward to 2022.
Good to be back at the Speed Palace. That's your home track. That's your home area for sure. We had terrible weather up there, but we still had a great time with the road shows. So much fun. So glad we added Huset's, first time there, back to Jackson, back to Knoxville. And Ashley, I think we always knew back in 2019 we had fun at these road shows, but when they were taken from us in 2020, man, that made 21 even more special.
Absolutely. It's always great to be back at the track. Glad to see the fans back out this year. But Steve, you'll be catching up with our 2021 champions in the off season. Just because it's our last show doesn't mean we don't have content still coming out. It is the Dryden Salute to Champions on wingnation.com, as well as our social media platforms. Some awesome champions you got to catch up with.
So much fun catching up with some of the champions of the series we don't cover all the time here on Wing Nation, whether it's the Ohio Valley Sprint Car Association. Of course, we mentioned Dominic Scelzi, the King of the West, the Fast Series up in Ohio. Some neat drivers, some great stories, a lot of fun and good racing this season, that's for sure. And finally, as we wrap it up for this year, there are a bunch of people who we need to thank for making this happen. And it starts here at Motor Racing Network. Our senior staff here at MRN, Chris Schwartz is our president, Frank Beers and Ryan Horn. They do so much behind the scenes and driving the ship that is MRN, and just so appreciate their support of Wing Nation. More in the trenches and certainly critical to what we do, Craig Moore and Steve Stroud, they're our production team. Ashley, we couldn't do it without Craiger, that's for sure.
It's true. He's always mashing the button.
There we go, no doubt. Our friends at Dirt Vision, Flow Racing, and Racing Boys, they give us the video content. Our partners, Sage Fruit, Dryden, Hercules Tires. Other partners, Lucas Oil, ASCS National Tour, Aggressive Hydraulics, Circle B Diecast, Hefner Racing Products, National Sprint Car Hall of Fame, all the drivers, teams. More important even than that, the fans for joining us here. So thank you everyone for another great season here on Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit.